why he liked Eternals, because I think there might be an interesting conversation.
I agree.
Based on a couple of things that just happened.
By the way, I freaking love. So for those who don't know, he sent us the reaction of his nephews onto our Slack, and the funniest one was he was just like, one of them was just gave a thumbs up, was like, yeah, I liked it, the action was good, it was a little slow for me, but it's because I'm a 12-year-old boy and my attention span is like small. I
feel like I think he was like halfway throwing shade at me, like that's what was happening.
Oh, was that what that was?
I think that's what that was. I think Danny was
flipping you off with his nephew.
Yeah, he's being like, hey, you know what, he's 12, you're mentally 12, that's why you guys were just like, it's all right. It's all right. But we'll get to it. You guys ready to do a podcast type thing?
Let's do a podcast, I think.
I said podcast type thing.
Let's do a podcast type thing.
Put in a podcast shaped box. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, the premier flagship and sadly not international podcast of LRM Online today. We're missing one of the Ladtastic 4. Danny is not here today, but you like that? You like that? I was workshopping that shit. I was workshopping it. I laughed when I came up with this. I was like,
I laughed,
so like
it works.
So it works.
No other opinion is needed.
Yeah, I even like in my head, I even came up with a T-shirt. We'll work on that.
Yeah,
work on that.
Let's keep it. Let's stick with it.
So instead, in the room, obviously, you can tell we've got your Nick Dawes and Joseph Jammer Medina's. Gentlemen, what's going on?
Not much.
All right. So I'm a little disappointed Danny isn't here. The gauntlet was thrown. We had a challenge. We were going to talk about The Harder They Fall. We're still going to talk about The Harder They Fall. We're going to review it. Both Nick and I saw it, and we're going to give our thoughts on it. But it was apparent based on the yawning, patronizing fucking video that Danny sent. Him not impressed. And so I was really looking forward to having that discussion with him. We're just going to have to do that later.
Yeah, we'll have to do it later, but next time maybe. But I think I know why. Even though Italy is famous for the spaghetti westerns, I don't think most European. What?
That's go ahead. Sorry,
but I just don't think most Europeans, especially UK folk, have the patience for the pacing of an American western.
Yes, that crossed my mind. That did cross my mind, but I
like Dune, so.
Yeah, so one, he liked Dune, and I think that a movie is a movie to some extent. But we'll
I was just joking because obviously the movie was a little slow, I feel, but in a good way, like a western.
No, you're right, 100%. Like one of the questions I was going to ask him was, what is your experience and enjoyment of westerns? Because I think you're right. I think that could potentially color your impression of this movie, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will. That was just a joke I wanted to make to his face, but it's better if he listens to this.
Boom, in your face. Can't respond. In your face.
Right.
In your ears, baby. But prior to that, we've got a few news stories to get through. We'll lead it off with a bunch of Marvel news. And here was the other thing that I wanted to get his reaction to, because he just saw the Eternals and a couple of the things that happened that I didn't want to spoil last time. So spoilers for Eternals. Anybody that has seen it knows that Ajak, who is portrayed by Salma Hayek, dies in the film. And we recently heard from Salma Hayek that she is signed on for multiple MCU projects. She appeared on Smallzy's Celebrity Small Talk podcast and had a conversation with him. And the quote that came from her was, "I did sign multiple movie deals!" ! It was kind of fun being part of this secret society that you have to protect so fearlessly. And if you've seen the film, you know that basically the Eternals are like robots or androids, right? Is that a fair way to call them, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a few videos on it. I mean, like the review videos, like that should point out things you don't notice. And I mean, they are synthetic, but they are like flesh and blood still. When they get stabbed, they bleed.
Do they not bleed?
Yeah.
If you break their hearts, do they not cry?
I think they're more human, technically, physically, than
prick me. Do I not bleed?
Than Vision. Physically,
possibly. It'd be very interesting if they were like, if Vision was like a precursor. I'm sorry, if the Eternals were, you say precursor? Yeah, I guess a precursor to Vision somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Because when you saw Festos, you did see some like light Iron Man style stuff coming from him. But anyway, so that's interesting. I was going to throw that at you guys. Plus, I'm glad Jammer's here because I was going to talk a little box office. Now, I know that Jammer doesn't think that the box office, we are looking at it incorrectly. But what I will say is this. As of right now, as of Tuesday, the last time I saw the numbers, this was doing worse than Black Widow at the same time. And what I find fascinating about that is we had a film that there was litigation about. I mean, there was about to be litigation. They settled, but they were going to sue like, hey, you cheat me out of money because of X, Y, Z and blah, blah, blah. Here we have a film that is farther along into COVID. And I'm of the impression that folks are learning to live with COVID. And we kind of talked about that. And what I think we're seeing here with the Eternals numbers is that people are making choices about what they're seeing. And I will further that by saying it's interesting because what I didn't know at the time that we had the conversation about the movie, this movie had a B CinemaScore, which sounds good, not good at all. Even Venom got an A. And I'm sorry, Venom 2. And what I think that means is that people walking into Venom 2 got exactly what they thought they would, and people walking out of Eternals did not. And so while the majority of us on this podcast like this movie, I think that between that and a couple of other things, it's not looking so great for this film. And then the last thing that I'll throw in is this. The last time we had a conversation about this film, it was at an 89 on the audience score from Rotten Tomatoes. It has dropped significantly to an 80. I think that that's a huge drop over the period of time that it takes for us to record a show. And the critic score has dropped 2% since we recorded. It's from 49 down to 47%. So all of those things I think are very interesting to have a conversation about, and what didn't click with some people, it seems like, with this film. And I was curious what you all's response to is for any of that.
I definitely think it's advertised like a Marvel movie. You know, I just think like a lot of people going and expect more action is what they didn't get. I feel like more than the other stuff. Because I mean, it's very long and there aren't many action scenes, and I love the way it's shot, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like Marvel. If that makes sense. I don't know. I think it's their biggest experiment since Guardians of the Galaxy, as far as
it's a way bigger experiment than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guardians of the Galaxy was an experiment in brand recognition only.
Yeah, yes.
But it felt very much like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
This one didn't have the character focus that Marvel movies have. And that'll teach you, Marvel, for experimenting. That'll show you.
I don't think that that's I don't think that that is a problem. Like, I don't mind the experimentation. Like, you tried. Good on you for trying. I think they tried a lot at once, right? Like I said, I think that this was creation myth for the MCU. This was introducing a whole bunch of new characters. And to that extent, it was more themes than characters. A lot of movies just pick a couple of those things. This was like, fuck it, we'll do it all and we'll do it live. And from my estimation, it didn't work. And obviously we feel differently about it. I think it's fascinating. I hope that they don't stop experimenting. But I am curious what, if any, impact this will have on the plans for these films going forward. Because I feel like at this point, Marvel is too big to fail. And we're very much beyond like Inhumans, right? Remember Inhumans?
That was Marvel Entertainment. That wasn't Marvel Studios.
Sure. But what I'm saying is we're beyond the point of like, oh, we can just sweep this under a rug, right? Like these are now, we have expectations for more of whatever's coming from this.
Yeah.
And so I think from that perspective, I'm curious, what, if anything, are they going to take away from this? And what I'm hoping doesn't happen is we don't have a DC or Star Wars knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. I think the sequel would be quicker anyway, and they can focus more on the characters. They threw a bunch at us and then they whittled them down a little bit. Because the next one I don't think will be next one. What they set up is not an exploration of history as much. Like,
who knows?
Like, we've seen these characters, at least in this form, before their mind gets wiped or after their mind gets wiped.
Yeah.
I feel like the sequel will be more about them looking at their origins a little bit and, finding other Eternals. Like, in the comics, at least, Titan and Star Fox are both Eternals, Eros, I think. And their parents are both Eternals, but the only Eternals are allowed to have children.
Yeah.
And the reason Thanos looks so different is he actually has the deviant gene and the Eternals gene, which makes sense to me after this movie. I knew that. I was hoping
we would get some of that in this. The other thing that I will say, you brought up the sequel, Nick. I'm really curious from a character perspective what a new Ajax and a new Icarus would bring to the mix, right? So we've rebooted these people, and for the 5 minutes that we will have that tension, like, oh wait, you're a murdering piece of shit. I want to see that. I want to see that reaction. I want to see them grapple with it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential. This was the most excited I had been after seeing the post-credit scenes in a while, where I'm just kind of like, this is interesting. This is weird, but all right, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Let's do it.
Especially the second one.
I liked Harry Styles. He was such like a hammy character, the way he's portrayed here. And I was just like, he looks interesting.
Well,
like,
one of his powers that they got rid of in the comics, because it was problematic as we entered the 90s or 2000s, is he basically fucks everything that moves, but he has psychic powers that can arouse people or make them happy or sad. So technically he's arousing people who against their will and fucking them.
Wait, so is he able to? Is it just to arouse? Is that the only?
No, make people feel happy.
So he's able to.
He's not literally mind control either. It's just like, oh, you're aroused now, and look how I'm sexy Harry Styles. They got rid of the power after a She-Hulk run, which was a court case about whether or not he was taking advantage of women.
But the weird thing is, doesn't She-Hulk have like a very high sex drive as well? Did they get rid of that too?
I don't know if they did, but they definitely fucked in that run. So
there we go. Seems like it worked out for everybody. Anything else to say about this?
Go ahead.
Okay. So like, I don't think they'll take the wrong message from it. I made a joke about them not taking chances. I don't think they won't take chances anymore. I think Feige is smart enough to go like, hey, we tried things. Here's what worked. Maybe next time we try something, we'll try to focus more on character. And that way we still have that home base, so to speak. But yeah, it's just like, it was narratively like their most unique movie so far to date. Like, it was the most, it felt like more unique than even an Avengers movie, which at least kind of had that through line. This one, it was just so weird and out there, and it was introducing everybody all at once, and it was a weird one. They tried to have Gemma Chan sort of be the focal point of it, and I think they mostly did a good job, but like, it wasn't quite enough, especially for a shaking head Jonesy here.
She's too bland.
She's what?
Too bland.
I could see that.
Too bland.
But I don't agree, but I could see that.
That's all that matters, baby. You guys ready to move on to Eternals adjacent news?
I just want to mention that I did like Mahershala Ali's voice at the end of.
That's the Eternals
what the fuck
adjacent.
does that mean? I liked his voice.
That means Blade
he put on a Blade voice. He put on a
Okay.
Blade voice. It was very like, and so that's the Eternals adjacent news. So we have a quote from Mahershala Ali saying, "It was really cool getting to do that. It was scary because, you're talking before you're filming. I'm pretty particular about my choices, like most actors. And so having to make some choices, even with a line vocally," goes to Nick's point. "This early on, it brought up some very real anxieties, and it made the job real. It's like, okay, this is happening now. And that's exciting." And before I get reactions from you guys, I did see online, there were people saying, he's going to have a lot to live up to and blah, blah, blah. Wesley Snipes tweeted he's going to do great.
Yeah.
So
that was great.
Nick, since you wanted to jump on this first, you've already said that, given his quote, do you have anything else to add?
Not given the quote, but I was thinking that it's kind of like Jonathan Majors. He was cast so far in advance that he was used elsewhere first. I think we'll see Blade and Moon Knight or something before he gets a movie. I don't think you cast him that many years in advance. It didn't even have a release date when they announced it. Now half these movies don't. They've already used
him. They used him, baby. He's on there. He's in there.
No, exactly. That's why now you can slip him into like Moon Knight or something to like give him an introduction.
This is the use.
Well,
it's been done.
We want to use his voice to set up Black Knight, who doesn't have a project yet.
So yeah,
I think I'm trying to think of what property. Wasn't there a rumor that he'd be in another one that wasn't Moon Knight?
I don't remember.
I
need to look that up because that's interesting.
Maybe the world's gone completely wacko and he'll be in Morbius.
That would be cool.
Wow.
I want that. I want to go to there.
I don't want it.
I feel like that is the most natural place for him to show up. And again, that movie surprisingly doesn't look like dog shit. So I kind of want that.
It would be cool.
Why are you shaking your head?
I'm not gonna lie, even though it's a broken universe.
It's a broken universe. I don't like it.
It's gonna happen no matter what, though.
I know.
That's the thing. Like, you have Venom licking the screen in Venom 2, licking an adolescent Peter Parker through the television. As fucking weird as that shit is.
Wait. So what happened at the end of Venom 2? Because I didn't see it. Because I don't waste my time with dog shit movies.
The post-credit scene
gets shimmered into the MCU universe. There is no explanation for it. I assume whatever happened in Spider-Man 3 is what caused this. And so Venom is going to show him something and you don't know what it is yet. And then the screen shakes and he's like, was that the thing? Did you show me the thing? And Venom's like, no, I didn't do shit. I didn't do anything yet. And it turns out that he is now in the MCU universe. And what he does is he looks at the TV and he's like, Nick, do you remember what he said? He says something. I don't remember what it is. And then he licks the TV screen with
because they're showing that. Yeah, because Spider-Man's a menace. It's like that thing. And
yeah.
Venom licks. I think. Well, there's also a line in there about how all the symbiotes can connect across multiverses or something. There's some line that hints about that. So I'm thinking.
So you're telling me I have to watch Venom 2? That's what you're telling me.
Watch the post-credit scene online. It doesn't even matter with the rest of the movie about the post-credit scene.
Man, fuck that movie. Yeah, that's the funny thing. Nothing in that movie matters except the post-credit scene, and even that doesn't matter. You now know everything that you need to know.
And because I think he recognizes Parker as someone another symbiote has been on in a different multiverse. Maybe I think that's maybe why he immediately reacts to Spider-Man.
Again, you've brought up something that is far more interesting than either Venom movie.
Right?
I think the real question is, will we have the grand return of Topher Grace?
No, I wish. So. I liked him joking about, he's like, nobody asked me. It's like, of course.
Of course no one asked you.
He made it funny, though.
I love Topher Grace, though.
He knows.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's great. Funny. Like, I wish does he have a podcast? Because I would listen to that.
That would be a fun podcast. I still think my favorite role of his is Predators.
Yeah, actually, I agree. I forgot.
Because it was like, it came out of nowhere. You're like, oh.
Predators was a good movie.
I like Predators.
Yeah, that was so good. No one saw it. It was so
I had a guy try to convince me that the last Predator that came out was good.
The Predator?
No. Yeah.
It's funny, though.
Insane. No, it's not. Like, I told him to turn it off when they did the get to the chopper scene, and then they got on the bikes. I was like, I'm out. I was like, are these the jokes? And he was like, yeah, these are the jokes. I was like, turn it off.
These are the jokes. Yeah, this is the caliber of jokes you will be getting in this movie.
Yep, we're all done here. Turn it off.
Just want a quick spoiler alert for that movie, the funniest shot?
Nope.
Sure, I don't care.
No,
okay.
I don't want to
hear Sterling K. Brown blows his own head off with the Predator shoulder gun thing.
That's lame.
Because he doesn't know how to use it. Because he's like the villain, and then he just blows his own head off. Like, he's not the main villain. At that point, there's like a super Predator, but lame. I laughed really hard at that, even though I love Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah, I'm good. Anyway, ready to move on? Something better? Something better?
Yeah.
You guys want something better?
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, Captain America 4, Sam Wilson hasn't actually earned the title of Captain America yet, but they're gonna fucking make him. They're gonna fucking make him. I don't know how much earning you have to do. Apparently, because he's black, he's got to earn that.
Yeah,
shit
you know,
like 5 times.
how long it took Captain America to earn that title? Less than half of a movie.
Yeah, they juiced him up, and they were like, "Hey, baby, go." So, here we have a dude. He was like, "Hey, here's the shield." And they're like, "No, you're still not Captain America." All right, he puts on the suit at the end. He's like, "No, still not Captain America." So now we have to have a movie that explains why he's finally Captain America. I guess. Let me read the quote. I got a quote for you guys before I go off the handle. Let's see. So the quote comes from Nate Moore, the VP of Production and Development at Marvel Studios. He talked about the next entry, and what he said was, "I think he's not Steve Rogers." Yeah, I know, and that's a good thing, because to me, this new Cap is Rocky. He's going to be the underdog in any situation. He's not a super soldier. He's not 100 years old. He's not an Avenger. Wait, he doesn't have the Avengers. What happens with this guy who announces publicly, kind of without the support, "I'm new Captain America," what happens next? I think is fascinating, because he's a guy. He's a guy with wings and a shield, but he is a guy. So we're going to put him through the ringer and make him earn it, and see what happens when he is outweighed, outclassed, out everything. What makes somebody Captain America? I'm going to argue it's not being a super soldier. I think we're going to prove that with Mackie and Sam Wilson, which is weird because it's like I feel like I watched a whole show about that. But you guys,
I think it almost sounds like they're gonna make him run the gambit as far as like villains.
Gamut.
Like whatever. Yeah, you're right. I don't say words good no more.
Wait, no.
Like they're gonna
Those are
like
all 3 different words.
like the villains don't even like take him seriously, and maybe even other heroes, or the news or whatever. It's like J. Jonah Jameson hopping on. It's like, who's this character? He's got any superpowers? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That's
whatever. Because Jameson's old enough to use whites only bathrooms. Who cares what he thinks?
Exactly. But no, just the idea of maybe the villain's not even taking him seriously, and like people are looking for new Avengers, and they're like, well, he's not superpowered. I don't know.
But he was an Avenger. He's an Avenger.
I know, but
which is kind of weird, right?
I don't know. Yeah, that is weird.
It's like coming back for a new season of football, and they're like, "No, you got to earn your spot again." It's like, no, I was already on the team. Like, well,
it's like, where you though? Like,
but you change your clothes.
Yeah,
so we got to do a thing. So
I don't know. He was an Avenger for a long time. Like,
it's true,
so long. And well, I guess he wasn't during the blip, but I yes and no to this. I like it, but I also don't. I like it in a couple ways. I like it in that I feel like it's realistic, and that a black man would have to fight harder for the same thing. So I like it in that sense because it's realistic. I also like it because I inherently like conflict, and I'm like, just fucking milk that conflict. Get it. And there's lots of conflict that could be given from a black man who trying to, I guess, get acceptance in a role that was held by a white person. And then also just the fact that he is underpowered, has to do things differently, really has to make it his own. And we actually have to see him embrace it. I think it's ripe for all sorts of interesting storytelling. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, we did kind of see that in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I could see more of it. I like it that way. But at the same time, I understand the frustration on your hand, Jonesy. It's like, just let him be Captain America now. Like, we got 8 hours. Let him be Captain America now.
I think there's something about the way he phrased it where
who was it?
I do expect him. Huh?
Who was it who said this again?
This is the VP of Production Development for Marvel. His name is, I don't know, some dumb guy. God damn it. I navigated. Nate Moore.
Okay.
I guess my issue with it is the way that it was phrased. It feels like a retread of the show. That's it. Right. Because I know all of those things about him. And that was kind of my frustration about the show. And what I'm hoping doesn't end up happening to him, that he just won't be like a support character because he is underpowered. Like, but we'll see.
Oh, and they could like make it more. I mean, like, obviously I want to see Bucky in every Captain America movie. But like, if Bucky's not in it, then it doesn't have a super soldier at his side. He's just Sam Wilson.
So he's not really him until he has a white man at his side.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, then he won't have the support of a super soldier either. Like, in the last series we watched, he fought alongside a super soldier.
I don't need to see Bucky.
And I don't need to see him
like
either, but
him,
you saw what happened when he went up against Batroc the Leaper. Like, he got his ass whooped.
Yeah.
So
He has to adapt.
Whatever. Peggy
Patrick
Carter whooped his
Leap doesn't
ass.
have
Steve
powers
Rogers whooped his ass. But Sam Wilson, no, you just can't do it, baby. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Blowing through this shit. All right, we got a poster. Nick Dahl was super excited to talk about a poster. We're going to be talking about a goddamn poster. We got a poster for Spider-Man No Way Home. It's an official poster, and it teases lots of stuff. Nick Dahl, would you like to run us through what it teases and let us know how excited you are for this?
Yes. Well, obviously, they're featuring the Doc Ock arms and the main suit that they want to use, because that's, he's the only villain we've seen clearly in the trailers or even the photographs. But if you look in the background, the Green Goblin's flying. And more importantly than that, he's wearing the helmet.
Green Goblin's flying, and he's put there at like 30% opacity. Just sort of plunked in there.
They don't make good posters anymore.
Just zoom in and enhance.
But yeah, he's there. He has the helmet on, which is interesting because there was leak of the costume, which looked way cooler and had no helmet. And there's just sand and electricity flying through. So they represent the 4 villains. I don't see any sign of the lizard on there. Maybe I missed it, but he was supposedly in the first trailer. If you enhance,
you zoom
enhance,
zoom in, enhance. I thought they were going to do something cute and like have, claw marks on the suit, but they didn't do that.
Like every Spider-Man 2 poster, I love those posters in the original movies where they actually damage the costumes. They don't do that enough in Marvel.
No. And what I'll say before I kick it over to Jammer, I don't like this suit. That's just me.
Which one is on the poster again?
It's
Iron Spider or
the Spider suit? The Iron Spider suit.
I don't like it.
I think he's gonna lose it pretty quick. I think Doc Ock, who also has 8 limbs, is gonna rip off those extra arms, and that's why he's gonna switch.
Wait, he's gonna rip off Peter Parker's arms?
Well, his suit's arms.
Oh, his suit's arms. Okay.
And then he's gonna be like, because I don't know. Someone else brought this up on a reaction video. It's like, by him proving himself in the second movie, it doesn't feel like he needs to go back to it just looks out of place when he's wearing the Iron Spider everywhere. That should be like an outer space adventure suit, not one he just relies on. Especially since he made his own new suit at the end of the last one.
Doesn't matter. It's a suit. The suit doesn't make the person. He uses whatever the fuck suit he wants, bitch.
No, I think I get Nick's point though. Like I don't particularly care for this iteration of Spider-Man, but what I do notice is it feels like he is too reliant on Tony Stark and Tony Stark's tech. And so this just feels like a further extension of that. But
I don't agree. I mean, I guess I see your point, but I don't agree that it is a problem that I have. It's not a problem I have. There you go.
You cannot not agree that it's
no.
You just don't find it problematic.
I don't exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
I just don't find it problematic because I just like his. I like how embedded he is in the MCU. It makes him unique from the other ones, and it justifies his existence. We're not retreading the same ground as we have in the past 5. Well, before the previous 5 movies, or the previous 2 iterations, or even the iterations that have happened in the comics or in the cartoon and all that. It feels uniquely MCU, and I think that's cool whenever something is uniquely MCU, like the take on the Mandarin.
Okay. I can dig it. Wish they had to retcon, right? They had to bring that back. Which I find to be interesting, right? So it's interesting that you're talking about that in a show where we're like, what are they going to learn from quote unquote mistakes or things that people did not receive well? So we have an answer.
Yeah, they actually did a really good job with that.
Yeah,
bringing back Trevor and stuff. Excellent.
Yeah. Trevor was great. I always just remember him going like, "Oh, you could see him. I thought I was hallucinating," or whatever he said.
Play dead.
I really like I know he was just thrown in there for laughs. I mean, and that was the point, but I really did enjoy the camera guy in Eternals. Kumal's best friend.
Oh, I thought it was cute. I thought
he was funny.
I wanted to pat him on the head.
Wow.
Well,
I was like, again, setting up vampires where he's like, he tried to stake me once.
It's true.
They bring up vampires more and more.
But yeah, I like how did we get to Eternals? What?
Sorry. We were talking about
fixing Iron Man.
Yeah, after talking about Spider-Man. So we got off track.
Really quick question about Eternals. There was that moment at the table when, what is Kumail Nanjiani's name again?
I had to just say
Kungo.
Kumail. I didn't remember his
Kungo
or something like I forget. Well, who was he talking about? that he knew at a young age.
Thor.
But was it Thor?
Yeah.
Oh,
Said
okay.
Thor
He knew
follows
Thor
me
when Thor
around
was
at his
young.
big time, and I can't get him to return my calls or some shit like that.
Okay, I was curious because I missed it. I don't know what it was. Maybe the person at Alamo Draft House was taking my orders or whatever, my order, and then I missed it. I
wish I'd seen that. I would rather see that than someone braiding Jimmy Chan's hair. But
what is wrong with you? You're so negative.
I don't like that movie. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on from Marvel to another superhero franchise, Fast and Furious.
Oh.
What the fuck? Was that a groan for? You know what? Fuck you.
No.
Anyway.
I'm groaning because I'm waiting for the news that I care about. You know what I'm talking about.
How do you not care about this? You know what's funny? I think I might have deleted that off my list because you weren't going to be here.
No, put it back.
No. Here's the thing. I was like, I don't want to talk about this without you because I don't have the One Piece acumen to do it.
You've read 100 chapters. You have enough.
Okay, fine. All right. We'll do that. We'll do that in a second.
We'll do it later. As long as we're doing it, I don't give a fuck when.
We're gonna do it. It's somewhere. I'll find it.
All right.
Anyway, Vin Diesel has reached out on social media to Dwayne Johnson. It's weird. I would assume he had his phone number. You could just call him. But anyway, he posted on some
see where this
Instagram type.
See where this analysis is going.
He posted on Finsta and said, "My little brother Dwayne," which when I read that, I
hold on a second. How old is Dwayne Johnson?
That's already an insult. I feel like
so great. It's such an insult
because he's like, you're the little Dwayne. One.
The time has come. The world awaits the finale of Fast 10. As you know, my children refer to you as Uncle Dwayne. I feel like Jammer should be doing it. He's better at impressions.
Vin Diesel is 5. Oh, you want me to do it?
I feel like you would do a better Vin.
Okay, let me see if I can find the quote. Hang on. But by the way, he is older than Dwayne Johnson by 5 years. So
okay,
yeah, I believe that.
I still feel like it's a slight.
I agree.
The Rock's much taller, and he's
because most people, if you're not, you're not my little brother. We didn't grow up in
my brother
same house together. Yeah, you're my brother.
Yeah, family.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna find this. Give me.
You're still looking for it, just like Jonesy.
Yeah.
No, I'm reading it.
Just read.
No.
Oh, you're preparing. You found it. Okay.
Here, I found it.
I'm gonna be quiet while you get in the zone.
My little brother Dwayne, the time has come. The world awaits the finale of Fast 10. As you know, my children refer to you as Uncle Dwayne in my house. There's not a holiday that goes by that they and you don't send well wishes, but the time has come. The legacy awaits. I told you years ago I was going to fulfill my promise to Pablo. I swore that we would reach and manifest the best fast in the finale, that is 10. I say this out of love, but you must show up. Do not leave the franchise idle. You have a very important role to play. Hobbs can't be played by no other. I hope that you rise to the occasion and fulfill your destiny.
So I think there are a few things I find really fascinating about this quote. One, I don't know. Generally, I really enjoy your impressions.
Okay. I don't know. It's just problem is like when you're not, my voice isn't anywhere near as deep, so it doesn't work.
We'll work on it. Sorry, we'll work on it. What I think is interesting about this is one, the fact that he said, "I'll work from the bottom." Hobbs can't be played by no other. There was somebody seriously talking about like, let's just find somebody else to play Hobbs. Like, I have no idea how that would work or what would happen. Or I find that to be fascinating.
No one was thinking that. What are you talking about?
The fact that he said it in here makes me think that someone said it aloud.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
That means
I don't know why I have to
the fucking spin-off movie. There's no way.
I'll put it to you like this. Have you ever gone to your wife and been like, Kirsten, you don't have to worry about those other women over there? It's like, well, I fucking wasn't until you said something. I wasn't thinking about those people till you just said that. That's how that comes out to me.
Okay. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I feel like the Hobbs was too ingrained by Dwayne Johnson in addition to like the Hobbs movie for that to have ever been a conversation.
Okay.
I think it's more of a threat.
Yeah. I feel like it's something that was considered.
No. They can't.
A lot of it reads like a threat.
Let me finish. Let me run through this. I also think it's kind of shitty to bring up Paul Walker.
Yes, it is. That's super shitty.
Like when I started reading it and I was talking about it in the beginning, you have his phone number. You could just reach out to him. Now you're in the public sphere bringing up a dead person as justification for why you need to come back to this franchise. And it's like, I'm not in his head. I don't know how he meant it, but how I hear it sounds very negative. So there's that. And then again, like Nick has already pointed out, the beginning where he starts talking about little brother, we're already in a diminutive space. He is not castrating him, but he's talking about him like he's lesser. But those are my thoughts and feelings.
I do think it's funny. It literally does seem like alpha male on display, alpha male moves on display here.
Yeah.
Here's what, okay. I found my favorite tweet about it. It's from an actor, Rahul Kohli.
Rahul Kohli, he's the guy from iZombie.
Oh, is that what he's from? I didn't recognize him, but I liked his tweet. Now I follow him.
No, he's great in that show.
I'm sorry, man, but if a co-star posts on social media some shite to get me to come back for a sequel new season, I'd be fucking livid. If I was actually close to doing it and then saw a post like that, I'd pull out of spite. Because it is like you said earlier, he has his phone number. He doesn't have to make a big show in front of everyone calling him little brother and we need to end this with you, man, even though I doubt 10's the last one they make. So
I think it'll be the last one.
No way that franchise ever dies. He'll be playing him when he's in his 90s. Just like Indiana Jones. But there won't be breaks between the movies. They'll be every 3 years.
Ugh, man. Jammer?
I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of alpha male moves there. I think there's like here's the thing. I do think that Vin Diesel is both really smart, but I also think he could also lack a lot of self-awareness probably. In that I could see it as like, this is just how he is. Slight intended or not, this is just how he is sometimes. I could just see that as
take it or leave it, baby.
Yeah. And so like it can almost just be like this is him trying to be nice and he's still like negging him. And maybe it could just illustrate why Dwayne Johnson doesn't want to work with him anyway. That I can see one approach. One is I do think he's trying to play it up in a way so that it's clear to his fans that he tried, so that he's not the bad guy if he doesn't come back. So that's why he didn't call him. That's why he fucking, outed him on Instagram. Not outed, that's not the right word, but like called out to him on Instagram because of that reason. He called him out. That's it. So, but a part of me is also like, he did mention that Hobbs can't be played by no other. So in a way, I'm sure in Vin Diesel's mind, he exposed his belly the slightest bit and was just like,
I need you.
It wasn't just I need you. It was just like, I made a concession. I put my ego aside and acknowledged that no one else could play this character. So throw me.
You know what he didn't do? You know what he didn't do?
He
took no blame for any of what's going on between the two of them.
Oh, I think, trust me, I'm not saying he did a good job. I'm just saying he's trying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if this was going to work, that would have to have been something in there, like at least from my impression.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. I agree, but that's not his style. That is not his style. Do you think Dwayne Johnson is coming back?
No.
Do you want him to come back?
Yeah, if it's not weird like it was in 8. 8 was the one where they didn't film any scenes together.
Right.
So if they could do it and make it not weird, I'd be for it.
Okay, that's fair. I agree. I want him to come back. F9 sucked. So make F great again.
I don't have an opinion because I haven't watched most of them. So
yeah, I don't think it sucked. Man, could have been so much better.
The last 2 Fast and Furious movies have not been good. It's not a good sign.
8 was
Hobbs
good.
Was
Fate?
shit.
No, he's counting Hobbs and Shaw.
I'm counting
that
Hobbs
does not
and
count.
Shaw.
That does not count. That was Fast and Furious.
Sorry,
Presents.
what's the title? Yeah, exactly.
Presents.
What
This
presents?
presents. That's
What
like
presents?
saying that something that Steven Spielberg produces is a Steven Spielberg movie.
Tim Burton's
No,
Nightmare
it's
Before
not.
Christmas.
It's a lot of the
Yeah,
same
it is.
talent involved too.
Is Man of Steel a Christopher Nolan movie?
It's not
No.
the same thing.
I don't
I
know.
like
it's
Nightmare
not the
Before
same
Christmas
thing.
example
I
though.
don't
Is Tim
know.
Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas a Tim Burton movie?
No, it's not the same thing. The reason why it's not the same thing is because like they had the same writer.
Okay.
They had Chris Morgan.
Okay.
They had fucking all like the core talent behind the Fast and Furious franchise involved
Except-
in that movie.
but none of the
and it
talent.
still sucked.
Oh man. Oh. Can we move on? I feel
Yeah.
I'm feeling dirty.
Let's do this.
Ready to move on?
Let's move
Yeah.
on. Let's do it.
All right, moving on to the other superhero franchise. So Netflix has revealed the Straw Hats for their upcoming One Piece live action. We got a teaser for this, like a month and a half ago. We saw pages on Twitter for what was an apparent One
Script?
Piece live action anime script. And Jammer was like, it's too big. There's just no way, no fucking way. Like, do we question whether or not it was even real? Like whether they're just trolling us? Or
No, it was real.
It was
knew
official at
real.
the time.
It's official. It was official script page and official logo.
okay.
And it was from Netflix, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, so now I don't even know why I'm doing this story. So now we have gotten the folks who will actually be playing the Straw Hats. And so while there is no release date yet, we're getting the slow piece by piece reveal of this show. We've got Inaki Godoy, who will be playing Luffy. We've got
Inyaki. It's an Enya. Enye.
You want to do
Inyaki.
this? Can you
No,
do
no,
this?
that's okay. No, you got
Fucking
this.
hell. No, God damn it. McKinyu as Zoro, Emily Rudd as Nami, Jacob Romero Gibson as Usopp, and Taz Skylar as Sanji. And so that will be the core principal cast that we have. And all of those folks are Straw Hats. And we'll find out. Jammer, as you saw these folks, because we didn't just get names, right? There was a Twitter post that revealed these people. And so Jammer, as you watched this Twitter reveal for these people who will be playing the Straw Hats, how'd you feel about each one as their energy came on? Where you're like, oh yeah, that's Luffy, that's Usopp. How'd it go?
I mean, yeah, I definitely got the energy feel from them. Like, especially Inyaki Godoy, who's just like, oh, brimming all over the place. And I was just like, whew, he's exhausting. That's probably accurate to Luffy. That's exactly kind of how he acts. So great enthusiasm there. Something about his face really does actually feel a lot like Luffy. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his wide-eyed nature. Literally his wide eyes as well. It could also be another thing where it's just his big eyes. The guy who plays Zoro, I could see it. Like he looks the part. Give him some green hair, give him the right outfit. I'll buy it. It's all good. The girl who plays Nami, she'll look like Nami. She was definitely like the most low key compared to everyone else. The most low key and humbled. Everyone else was like super enthusiastic, and she was just like,
What is
grateful.
it? Nami kind of that way, except for when she is yelling at people.
No, she's not at all that way. No,
Oh,
she's very not that. I
she
mean,
doesn't
this
seem
is
very
just-
energetic to me.
She's not energetic. She's just but the way she's played here, she played like genuinely kind.
Oh,
Nami
okay,
isn't
got it.
genuinely kind.
No,
If that makes
yes,
sense.
I agree. Yeah,
She's kind of ruthless and
kind of.
kind of ruthless and kind of you could tell her trauma comes from not having money her entire life, and that is her personality as a result of it. Obviously, I don't need to get that from this character, this actress when she's first talking, whatever. But she looks the part. She looks like it. And then you get the Usopp, the guy who plays Usopp. I don't know if they're going to go for the long nose. I'm really intrigued to see how they do this, because that will really be a testament as to what they're going to do with this show in terms of how it looks. Because the long nose is kind of like it's not just a signature, but like it's a part of the character. Like the character was based off of Pinocchio because he's a liar and he has a long nose. I mean, you don't have to run with that,
But
but
looks like Dick Tracy. start making them up
right?
too much.
It could look like that, right? With like the prosthetics and stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe not. But either way, I think this guy looks good. I think he looks like he could definitely be the part. The guy who plays Sanji, super spot on. I could see it. Like, I don't know what it is, but also just sort of his mannerisms. I could definitely see him being Sanji for sure. He's just I could see him being played a lot cooler than he is in the manga, a little less womanizy than in the manga, a little more genuine. And I think that pretty much fits him fairly well. But for me, I think the biggest thing out of all of this here is like, I'm just waiting to see the dynamic here between all of them and how they bounce off of each other, because it's going to make or break the show, whether or not it works. But what else was I going to say? I had a thought that I was jumping into with this one. So we have Sanji, Zoro, Usopp. Oh, yeah. Another thing I think was interesting. So many years ago, Oda was asked what were the ethnicities of all of the main cast.
Mm-hmm.
And Luffy was Brazilian. Right. This guy's Mexican, I think. Zoro, Japanese. Nami was Swedish. Sanji was French. And Usopp was, he just said Africa. I always think African. I mean, as if that's a country, but from Africa. So as far as that goes, they're in the right ballpark, it seems like, with a lot of the casting, which I think I'm wondering how much they took that into consideration as like a guiding post.
So I hate to bring it back to Eternals. Remember how I was like, no, I'll tell you after the podcast. Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Well, what do you think as someone who has read 100 chapters of One Piece?
No, fuck it. You know what? I'll say it anyway. You know what bothered me about Eternals? I hated that Brian Tyree's character was called out as being a coward. And
oh yeah, you mentioned that. Yes, last week.
One of the things I hated about reading One Piece was that Usopp was the same way. And I think I even asked you, like, is he always going to be like this? You were like, you're kind of like, yeah. I don't like that the black guy is like fucking coward ass character. But anyway,
it's funny because when I think of black characters,
it's not funny.
Is not the first thing that comes to mind when I think of it.
It's a trope. It's a tropey thing. But anything else before I kick it over to Nick Dahl, who's going to tell us?
Well, I want to know the rest of your thoughts. What are the rest of your thoughts on the cast?
I think I told you this in Slack when I saw them. The limited reading that I've done, I felt like, yeah, all these people really have the energy of these characters. Like I could see it. And while I like who they've cast in Cowboy Bebop, I don't see it as much as I do here.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the page from the page to screen energy has transferred a little bit better than it did from Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see that. And I'm intrigued to see how does this look? How's it going to look? Are they going to go super cartoony? Are they going to try to make it less cartoony? Like, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know what the energy and spirit of the script is going to be.
Yeah. I think the thing that I'm most curious about is I saw a report somewhere that we're only getting 10 episodes of this. I've read 100 chapters of this and there are 1,000 now, right?
Yeah. Over 1,000.
So I've read 10% of this and I can't, or less than 10% now. I can't imagine what they're going to do to this story to make it fit within Netflix's dynamic, for lack of a better.
To be clear, what's going to be happening for the first 10 episodes, the first season, is going to be East Blue. Is going to be essentially what you read. That's going to be the first 10 episodes.
Is that enough?
They're going to have to be creative with how they combine things. In all honesty, the anime itself and the manga, well, mostly the anime, could have probably used some combining elements. Not drag out certain fight scenes.
That's every
play anime. Around with the storytelling stuff of the anime, man. I've been rewatching the anime.
Yeah.
That shit is rough. That is just they drag in that one. It's just, it does not need, you can't look to the anime as I don't think you can look at the anime as a competent way to adapt the manga, because I don't think it is.
Yeah. The last thing I'm gonna say is, I don't know if you knew this, that Tomorrow Studios, who who are working on this, and one of the executive producers is also worked on Cowboy Bebop. So I'm curious how much synergy we will get.
Same studio, Tomorrow Studios.
Yeah.
One last thing. I don't think I've ever felt older than watching this video and me realizing just like, oh, these characters aren't my age. I forgot. Because when I first started reading this, I was younger than all of them. I was like 14 or so when I first started reading this. So I was younger than all of them. And in my head, they've always been the same age as me. And I look at it, I was like, oh, these are kids. They're really young.
How much time has passed from the beginning to where you are? Because you're all caught up. How much time has passed
in the manga, like time in the timeline? 2 to 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years.
Jesus Christ. It's crazy. All right. Nick Dahl, how disappointed are you that Nick Pratt was not cast as Luffy?
Wait, who?
No, he's going to play Tony Chopper. That was like the big thing, is that, so there's this character is like a part human, part reindeer character. And it's played like the voice of that character is literally the voice of Pikachu in Japanese. And so that gives you an idea of what that character is. And everyone's just like, this just in, Chris Pratt's playing the voice of Tony Chopper.
Sounds like they need Ryan Reynolds if it's the same as Pikachu.
It's pretty good. I want that. I actually would want that.
I would not want that.
Those jokes have not stopped yet on Twitter, and I'm still amused by the Chris Pratt jokes.
I feel so bad. Like everyone like hates him. He's fine.
Really?
He just,
a lot of people do hate him.
I think they hate him for his fundamentalist Christian beliefs.
Yeah, that's why. It's for personal. I mean, it's
and
politics and stuff like that.
Supposedly breaking up with his wife. Like, it's all kinds of weird personal stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is for me, it's just like, A, I don't think I've really seen him flaunt his Christianity, anything he's done. B, his personal life isn't any of my business. So I personally have no reason to dislike him, other than maybe just I don't want to see him in a role because I see him everywhere. I think that's also it, because he was cast as Mario and then he was cast as something else, right? Recently. Garfield.
Garfield was started the jokes. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, they're casting him as everything, because they're like within a month of each other or something.
Yeah, I was like, granted, I don't think casting anyone as Garfield is a good idea, because I don't think having a Garfield movie is a good idea. But
who the fuck asked for that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I forgot who the writer and director are, because actually they made
Garfield.
Yeah, that's actually they made a great movie together. I think it's a Disney movie, but I can't remember who they are.
Oh, you're right. But I forgot
they made
what it was.
One of the classics, but I can't remember.
It's not that great.
Well, it is. I just can't remember the name of the movie. It's one of the names you go to.
So good, I can't remember. Okay, sure.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Yeah, look it up while we're talking about other stuff.
So I've got a couple of questions. What?
Well, did you care about the cast list? For the cast of One Piece? Nick?
I didn't even watch that thing.
Oh, God. Fucking so American.
I just don't care. When they have a nice trailer and it looks flashy like Cowboy Bebop, I'll be excited.
Well, I didn't ask you to be excited. It's like, come on, is it too much to ask you to?
I would just a list of names. Story? Well, I mean, I would have no opinion.
No, it's not just a list of names. They released a Twitter video where they're like, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I'm going to be playing so and so," and so you get like a sense of their energy.
That still wouldn't mean anything to me though, because I've never even seen a full episode of it.
Okay. So the script for Garfield is by David Reynolds, who did Finding Nemo, and it's being directed by Mark Dindal, who directed Chicken Little.
Would you be surprised to know that I didn't care for
those two work together on The Emperor's New Groove?
The Emperor's New Groove, that's the one. Because it's not like a classic, but I really enjoyed it at the time. Like it was a really funny
it's a great
Disney
movie. Fuck off.
It holds up pretty well too.
It does.
I think I like that better than Finding Nemo.
Yeah, that was the movie I was thinking of. Was The Emperor's New Groove. They work together on that. So
yeah,
maybe they can find something out of Garfield. Maybe.
I mean, Garfield's not bad. It's just I don't want a Garfield movie. It works as a comic strip.
Yeah. Or Garfield and Friends, the old animated show.
Garfield and Friends.
Garfield the adventures aren't even about Garfield. They're about friends.
I'm getting sleepy. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Getting so old. We've got a bunch of DC news. Some of it's important, some of it's not. Like, here's a question. Did you guys know that Linda Carter was going to be in Wonder Woman 3?
Not until now. I mean, not until a news story this week. I thought she was
I
just a throwaway cameo at the end of the second one.
Right. I thought her cameo was just a cameo. I did not realize, like you, Nick, until I saw this story that she's actually going to be in it. So we've got a quote from Gal Gadot from Hollywood Reporter where she says, "First of all, Linda has mentored me from the very first moment that I got cast as Wonder Woman. She was always there talking to me, giving me tips and everything. She's a true champion of what Patty and I have been doing. And it's great that we managed to get the right opportunity to bring her to the last movie and now the third one." So that's cool. I didn't see that coming. Thoughts?
Yeah, I wonder how she'll be used. I mean, yeah. I don't know enough about the Wonder Woman lore to know who should be. Obviously, she's playing someone, an older Amazonian who's in the real world also. Is that where we saw her? Yeah, we didn't see her on. Yeah, we saw her walking the streets of somewhere in the 80s. So
yeah, not the mascara. And
I mean, it's cool. Like pull a DC, just bring in everything. Bring it all in. Fuck it. Wait, it is DC. I forgot about that.
I'm like, I'm almost surprised she's not playing old Wonder Woman in the Wonder Woman sequel. That's somehow thrown off the timeline because of Flash, which is why we're also getting the old Batman.
Maybe
it kind of makes me wonder when the next movie is going to take place. Yeah,
but they did something similar with the Flash show, where the guy who plays the Flash's dad was the guy who played the Flash in the original series in the 90s, but they also brought him back as the original Flash from a different world.
But also it's Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
Man, they really got their money's worth out of John Wesley-Shipp. They're like, hey man, you can be his dad. You can be Flash from an alternate universe. You can be Jay Garrick. They even got Mark Hamill in on that, which is like completely.
Oh yeah,
nuts.
they did.
They did.
As what was
Trickster.
it again? The pranks.
Prankster?
What is it again?
Trickster? I thought it was Trickster.
Is it
Trickster or
Prankster?
Whoever,
One
yeah,
of those.
I think it's Trickster.
It's something
I don't remember.
Trickster.
No, but that's what's. I mean, in a similar way, Legends of Tomorrow, rather than losing actors half the time, they'll actually switch the character they're playing. Like Matt Ryan's not playing Constantine anymore, but he's still on the show as a different character. So I don't know. You remind me of that when you're talking about how
they got there from the Flash.
The guy to be the dad, the other Flash.
They stole that idea from the Flash.
That's what I'm saying. They probably did.
Yeah, with the Council of Wells. Man, I love the Council of Wells. Anyway, Flash, everybody.
I love that first season of the Flash. The first season of the Flash, where I was just like, well, Harrison Wells is so obviously evil. How is this not like a thing? And then how are they going to keep him now that he's gone? How are they going to make him still around? And they just have too many Wells. It's like too many cooks, except with Harrison Wells's.
But now he's gone. I think he's left either last season or this season.
Is he? I don't know. I haven't watched the show
since
season 3 or 4.
I haven't watched since maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago, but I know that he and Cisco are now gone.
Yeah,
so,
Cisco.
Which means I'll never go back.
Poor Cisco.
Cisco fucking carried that show. I love Cisco.
Yeah, he did. Cisco's awesome. He's my spirit animal.
You guys ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Are you guys excited, or are you excited? Are you surprised that Henry Cavill still wants to be Superman? He's like, hey man,
no,
because
he's very clearly is like, I want to be Superman. Let me be Superman. Just let me Superman something, and then they're not letting him.
I mean, at this point, dude's gonna be old enough to play fucking Kingdom Come Superman. That's what's gonna happen. So
yeah, I'm not against it.
They'll fuck it up though. I'm just telling you now. Like, you can be excited about it. They will mess it up.
You sound so negative. You sound so negative.
The best movie they made is a director's cut. Sorry.
I mean, I don't disagree. I fucking love Justice League.
That's
not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a great movie.
Yeah, it is. But they had to, do it in post. Anyway, that was the news. That was the news. The news was.
I want to continue arguing with you about this.
I like the other part about the quote.
I thought he wants to be Captain Britain.
Yeah. Marvel should be like Britain. Offer him a 5-movie deal, the same, but then like use him in other projects like Excalibur and maybe an Avenger, because then they'll be like, oh yeah, Zack Snyder had a 5-movie vision for you. How would you like 5 movies?
Will be Captain Britain before he's Captain Britain.
Who will?
Peggy Carter.
That's true. Yeah. She's Captain Carter for some reason. They didn't give her a country name.
Yeah.
What if?
And that's about it for the news. We had one other thing happen. I mean, there was a movie that was going to come out that is no longer coming out at the time that it was coming out. So sticking with Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman, Rogue Squadron has been pushed to 2023.
Which is interesting because that makes sense because hang on. My source.
What's your source say? You got a source? Uh-oh.
My source says that they are working on Rogue Squadron definitely next year.
Okay.
It's just starting up.
Okay.
Not production. I'm assuming like the laying the groundwork to come. So my guess is early next year is they're going to have it and then probably release it the following year, whenever that is.
I think that I am more excited for this than most Star Wars projects, mostly because so one of the things you associate with Star Wars are the Jedi. And then this is, for me, the other thing that I associate with Star Wars is someone who grew up reading the now non-canon Rogue Squadron books. I was ready, really, really, really ready for this project. So I hope it's good. Although Wonder Woman 1984 kind of dampened my excitement for it. I'm hoping it's good, but we'll see.
Also, in addition to that, because fuck it, they're also shooting The Acolyte next year, along with season 2 of Andor.
Okay.
Season 2 of Andor.
Acolyte. Is Acolyte the spinoff of Star Wars Visions episode we saw?
No, it's its own other thing.
Isn't the High Republic show rumored to be a High Republic show?
Okay.
I think so.
Interesting. All right.
But I don't know, but I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll clarify it with I don't know because, you know me, I'm not as involved as I used to be with the specific intricacies of the Star Wars universe. But yeah.
What's your value to us then?
Somewhat exclusive news-ish.
Yes. If you want to call it that. Anyway, you guys ready to review a movie? Talk about a movie.
Let's talk about a movie. Wait, no, not yet.
What?
Well, last thing.
What? What's one thing?
Because I didn't watch this movie, but really quick, who watches? I watched part of Arcane.
Yeah.
The new animated show on Netflix.
Isn't it based off of Legends of Tomorrow? I mean, League of Legends.
You were so close.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
League of Legends. It is based on
something
that.
Legends.
I don't know anything about League of Legends. I played it for maybe 2 weeks in 2011 when my roommates were playing it. Yeah, and I don't know anything other than the fact that it's a strategy game. It's a real-time strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's a MOBA, right? I thought it was a MOBA.
I don't know what that is. So I don't know what that is.
Battle Arena.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay. Well, anyways, doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if you don't know any about that because the show itself, I think, holds up very well as it is. I think it is a gorgeous piece of animation that is super stylized, sort of easily or very clearly trying to hide the fact that it has a TV budget, and I think doing so fairly successfully. It looks so cool. The story itself, it feels very much like a YA fantasy, and I am 100% there for it. Like, give me more of that. I also like two things about it. A, it's not overly childish like Avatar: The Last Airbender or The Dragon Prince, which I just cannot get over the bad jokes in those. Just can't do it. So it doesn't have that childishness, but it also doesn't have that edgelord, I'm an adult show, so we have to have gore and cussing and shit. It doesn't have that either. It feels like we want to tell a great, fun, fantastical story. We're just going to do what we need to do. We're going to be as dark as we need to be without, having to get super dark. We're going to do exactly what we need to do. Like, we're going to be exactly what we want to be and appeal to sort of a wide audience. And I think it does so fairly successfully. So if you haven't seen it, I recommend watching Arcane on Netflix. It is cool.
I agree with everything you said.
And
Nick,
watch Animaniacs.
Is season 2 out?
They're zany to the max. Yeah,
I did not like the first season of that.
It's funny. I liked most of it, but I hated every Pinky in the Brain episode.
Oh, really? That was my favorite.
Well, it was because it was overdone. It's really weird that the intro is still the old intro, but you only have the Animaniacs and Pinky in the Brain and nothing in between. So
no, they changed it.
Yeah, they changed.
They got rid of all of those. They got rid of the intro. Then all the intro, they don't have those characters anymore.
Right. And so I'm saying with the first season, I thought it was weird that there was that, but we only got those two things.
We only got Pinky and the Brain and the Animaniacs in the intro for season 2.
And the
Right.
show.
I'm talking about season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as season 1.
Yeah.
The opening did not have those other characters in it.
It's too much. It's too much.
I don't
need
think you
more.
understand what I'm saying. I
I
feel
get
like you're
what
not
you're saying.
acknowledging.
I think what
Anyway.
you're saying is I'm misremembering what I saw in the opening.
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay.
it's somehow one of the most political shows I've seen, and I watch stuff.
Yeah, I
like,
watched season 2.
uh,
Other than I
like
said, other than the
that
Pinky the Brain
damn
episode-
Michael Che or whatever. It's not that level of like having something to say, but it's pretty damning and like I don't know. In a lot of ways, they'll go over kids' heads, but as an adult, you're like, oh fuck, episode was about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always been like that, so I'm happy they've kept that aspect of it. Like I said, I like most of the season. I liked all the Animaniacs segments, and I think maybe 2 or 3 of the Pinky the Brain ones, and the rest of them are just like, to the point where I didn't even finish the second half of season 2 or second half of the final episode of season 1 because it was a Pinky and the Brain episode, and I was like, I don't want to watch that, and I just stopped.
Cool.
But,
That's all I have to say. I binged all of it in 2 nights.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So it's good.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool.
I want to go back
like
and
it.
watch the old stuff and see if it's actually funny.
I still need to go back and watch season 3 of DuckTales, which is on Disney Plus.
So
in case
amazing.
I need to
I
watch
haven't
more
watched
than the
it.
first episode of that show.
So good.
So good.
No, the
It's
wrap up,
amazing.
the ending. It's good.
Oh, it's
I've
good.
seen it.
Okay, good.
I've seen it. It's good.
That makes me happy.
It's good. Very
Makes me
satisfying.
happy.
It actually makes me kind of surprised we haven't gotten more from that universe already. Like that this wasn't
Like no
setting
Chip and
up.
Dale Rescue Rangers.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Gummy Bears, Darkwing Duck. Like I felt like they even fucking
Tailspin.
Tailspin. Yeah. I'm shocked that we haven't gotten something from that universe, but
I think the sad reality is, as well produced as it is, it doesn't seem like it was popular enough. I mean, it was canceled, I think, after 3 seasons.
that's
So
okay. At least it ended.
yeah,
So
I'm okay with it.
does
Give me
get-
3
it does have
seasons
a
of a
proper
really good
ending.
show. Give me 3 seasons of really good show. I'll be happy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who goes like, oh, it ended too soon. I'm not one of those people fucking still crying over Firefly. That ain't me. That's
So
not me.
I think the difference is it didn't get a proper. So the weird thing is it didn't get a proper ending, and then it got a movie, and nobody went to see the movie.
It's because people are, and it's not that good of a show. It's a boring show. I'm sorry, folks. Firefly is boring. You're wrong. All of you. All 5 of you who yell really loudly and make it seem like there's 5 million of you. You're wrong.
I like Firefly.
You're
I
wrong.
haven't seen it yet.
I like it. I enjoy it.
You-
And I like
yeah.
the movie too.
I don't like it. I like the movie. I thought
Yeah,
the movie
movie's
was
good.
good. I didn't
The
like
movie's
the
weird
show.
because it kind of resets all the characters. But
I mean, yeah, because it's trying to appeal to a mass audience and it failed. It didn't do that either because it didn't do well.
so yeah. But anyway, are you guys ready to review a movie?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, The Harder They Fall has a 68% on Metacritic, a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and 86% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, and a 93% from the audience. People fucking love this shit. When an outlaw discovers his enemy is being released from prison, he reunites his gang to seek revengeance. They're the Revengers, apparently, I guess. Anyway, this film stars Jonathan Majors and Idris Elba. And one last piece of news, actually, as it relates to this. I don't know if you guys saw this. Idris Elba tweeted out that there's a new, the Luther movie is filming right now.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I didn't know if
So
it was the movie or
exciting.
another season, but
I think
I
it's the
saw
movie.
they like
Pretty
shared
sure
the
it's the
clapper
movie.
or whatever.
So exciting. So exciting. Anyway, ready for that. Jammer, you didn't see this. Nick, you did see it. Nick, why
Really
don't you
quick,
go
I
ahead?
just want to say this to Nick really quick. With that Luther thing, did you notice that the Luther announcement, he was like, "Oi!" That was like what it said in this tweet. He's like, "Oi!"
I did.
Boy,
It's my thing.
You got
That's
it.
like my favorite British thing is going, "Oi!" I don't know
Oi.
why. It's really fun.
Well, I've
I love
shared.
it.
You guys have seen. I've shared it. At least talked about the Idris Elba sketch on some BBC show where some other guy's
Yes.
playing him, and he's like, "Let me
and
make
he's
that
like, I'm
coffee."
Idris Elba. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's always like, "Oi, I'm Idris Elba. What are you trying to do here? Kill cancer?"
Do that.
It's good. Anyway,
Nick Dahl, what
Anyways,
did you think of this
I love
film?
Idris Elba, and I love his "Oi." It's the best.
oi.
And
I
yet
liked it
you
a lot.
couldn't- Yeah. Tell me
I
why.
really like the movie.
Tell me why.
I'm in love with Jonathan Majors. I got a major man crush on Jonathan Majors. The whole cast is fantastic. Like, you got Lakeith Steinfeld. That's his last name, right?
Stanfield.
Regina King.
It's Regina King.
No, I don't think I got that one wrong.
Regina King.
But and now I'm forgetting some other names because I know more names than that. But really solid cast. Stylistically interesting, but it kind of changes styles throughout the film. Like they use a split screen in one part, like it's a comic book, and I never use it again. But they literally have the bar almost like Cowboy Bebop, and even like swipes away and stuff. I know, but like it's weird they used it once and never used that technique again. But like it's just and the story's great, the acting's great. It was slow, but it's slow like a Western, and it has one of my favorite jokes ever, which is they're gonna go rob a bank in a white town, and then they show up. And like other the cities we see are like colorful. Everything is painted white, and on the screen it says the name of the city, and it says in parentheses White Town. But every building is painted white.
Everybody's dressed in white.
Yeah, like whereas the other stuff looks more like. Actually, they make Redwood. Wait, what's the red city?
Redwood. I think
Redwood. They make Redwood really colorful, especially at night with like lights and stuff, like blue buildings and green buildings that pop. So it's really fun. I really enjoyed that little touch of detail. But
yeah,
Jonathan Majors continues to impress me, even when he's trying to be more serious. You can see how much fun he is having acting, and he's infectious, just like when he played King. I actually do and finish
Regina King. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm done.
You're done.
I recommend it to most people. Not my mom, because she doesn't like violence.
Before I jump in, you talked about how it's slow like a Western. Generally speaking, do you enjoy
like
or not enjoy Westerns?
I like Westerns.
Yeah.
But usually they're very Hollywoody these days. Like,
what's your favorite Western?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Okay. All right. Jammer, what about you? You like Westerns? How do you feel about Westerns?
I do like Westerns. Ironically enough, I don't care for many modern American Westerns because they're too slow. Ironically. I like spaghetti Westerns. I don't know, something about the way they're slow. I think you know what it is. I think I like Westerns for the spectacle and the plot and not for the depressingness. When you start to get depressing, you start to lose my interest. And if you're depressing and you're slow, then you've just gone. It's gone. Yeah. So I think like The Proposition. Boring. No, thank you.
I don't even know. I know did I finish that? I don't remember if I finished that.
Or like Appaloosa. No, thank you. Don't want that either.
True Grit.
Like those type. That's what I think of when I think of American Westerns right now.
Do you like
what's that?
True Grit.
I like True Grit.
What about
I like the ending?
Magnificent Seven. That's more of a mainstream Western than the other ones.
Which one?
Which one?
The newest one. I'm saying that's more aimed at a wider audience, even though it is also still slow.
I liked the idea of it. It looked like it was going to be fun, and then it was kind of boring. Yeah. So no, I don't like that one. I think that the best indication of what I want from a Western is honestly probably Django Unchained in terms of what I like and sort of feel. Okay. I also did like the idea of the good, the bad, and the weird, which was kind of
that's definitely top one.
Steampunk Westerny.
Yeah.
Like give me just sort of like vibes of a Western, and I don't need to be like it's set in North Dakota or fucking South Dakota or fucking the fucking Wyoming, and we're gritty and we're riding horses and herding cattle, but then some guy goes in and fucking kills my family, and I'm gonna mope about it for an entire movie, and then eventually I'll redeem myself. Is that what this is?
Partially.
So let me start with the good news. So the good news is that if you like the Django Unchained style in the beginning of this. So what I loved about this movie, and this isn't a spoiler, is that, so I'll start with myself. I really love Westerns. I really enjoy them. And as soon as I'm watching this, I got feelings of Once Upon a Time in the West. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Oh yeah.
But the way that the music starts when Buck comes into the house in the beginning, and he sits down and you never see his face, and the camera moves up to the gun, and it's like Chekhov's gun because it never gets used. And it's just like the tension is in the air. And what I love is that it gives a connection to the main characters that last throughout the film. And it is someone who liked that movie and then The Quick and the Dead. There were a lot of things for me to hang my hat on in this movie. No pun intended.
I was gonna say Western pun.
Yeah, no pun intended. I felt like the acting was really good, but I also think that Lakeith Stanfield like stole almost every scene that he was in. Like from the minute they go to try to break Idris Elba out of jail, there's a scene and this guy says, like, we're not afraid of you or something like that. And he says, oh, the hero, great spirit, why is there always one? And it's just like the way that he delivers that line, he seems like he should be really out of place given the time period that he's in, but it works. And I think that's a testament to just him as an actor and how good he is just at his craft. And so I really like that. I like the action from the very beginning. You've got the scene where Jonathan Majors guns down this guy in the very opening scene. And so going back to Django Unchained, it is that level of violence where you shoot somebody and they fly like 50 feet. And it's not overly graphic, but it is graphic in a, I hate to say a good way, but in a good way. So I really enjoyed this movie for all of those elements. I also liked the ways that it was complicated, but not. So yeah, I thought that this was a lot of fun. Good time. I do wish Danny was here because I can't tell if when he did like the yawning thing, like, did he just not like it? Or was he genuinely bored by the movie? Because it's weird to me that you would think that this is boring. I get not liking it. Because again, Nick, you've already brought up like Westerns just might not be your thing. They have a particular pacing to them. But no. Anyway, what else?
Dialogue too. What's up? Something else that neither of us have mentioned. Just the dialogue in general. How it's, you said how Lakeith says it, but like it's just all of it's written. So like everyone's delivering it, and it's kind of like, it's true to a Western at the same time. Like they're throwing rap songs over it and stuff, just because kind of give it that flair and that. Yeah, not Tarantino. This guy has his own version of Tarantino. Is like this is this director's. He's like, this is my style. This is how I do a Western.
Yeah, actually, don't like the rap.
You know, like
for me. I didn't like.
I like the music.
Some of it I did.
Some
of it I
liked
didn't.
it.
Some of it I did, and some of it I didn't. So I was kind of. I thought that. I will say 60 to 7% of the soundtrack I liked.
Okay,
so we'll put it like that. Except for the score, I did like the score. I thought that was really good. There were other weird, interesting things I'd like. It felt like everything that I wrote down was about Lakeith Stanfield, and I don't know who did the pistol boop. Like somebody touched somebody's nose with he did it to the Union soldier. He like booped his nose with a pistol. The scene that you were talking about with the split screens, he's like, I love my countdowns. And there was a scene you were talking about dialogue in the same scene said, they've been, I think it's the next scene where Delroy Lindo says they've been pardoned for all their depredations. I was like, oh, that's not a word you hear very often. And I just I really enjoyed it. And one of the things that I did like about this was that even though Idris Elba was a bad guy, unquestionably a bad guy, he had a purpose, and his purpose was to set up a black town so we could have a thing and no one could try and take it away from us. And I got really interesting, like Wiley Esco was like the sheriff of Nottingham, and Rufus was like King Richard. Like that was kind of the thing. Like he had to come back and try and take the town back from this guy that was robbing it blind. So it's good stuff.
I really like the sharpshooter kid, or like Speedy. I don't know the actor's name or the character's name, but the guy was like, I'm the
I'll look it
quickest
up.
draw in the West. And people are like, that doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter. And I love that scene subverted expectations, right?
Mhm.
So you had this whole build up to what was supposed to be. So it's R.J. Seiler, and he played Jim Beckworth. There was a build up to this shootout, and you thought that he was going to, like, they were going to have a shootout. So Lakeith Stanfield, and who plays Cherokee Bill, and Jim Beckworth, they've been setting up this shoot off, this gun battle, and I think 1-2 times we've been teased with that, and then he just shoots him. Cherokee Bill just shoots him in the face. He cheats on the countdown, and it's like,
Everyone always takes so long to count or something
So
like that. So,
and you just
count so slow.
I didn't see it coming. And one of the things that kind of throws you off is Beckworth has a bullet with Cherokee's name on it, that while they're doing his countdown, he puts the bullet in his gun. And you think that something has to happen based on that. And, Basseries had told him, that stuff's going to get you killed.
Yeah.
So it was good. I liked it.
Like,
This isn't a bad thing. I did feel like Damon Wayans was either miscast or he was not jibing with the rest of the cast. Like the scenes that he was in, it was obvious, like, you shouldn't be here.
I agree a little bit. My roommate immediately recognized him. He didn't know that there was a junior. He thought it was one of the original Wayans brothers. I was like, no, they are a lot older now. This is like
they're a lot older, but they don't look a lot older.
No,
that's the thing. Yeah, they don't. But I'm like, this is definitely the junior.
Yeah, he's the one that was a New Girl.
Yes,
for a little bit, yeah.
And
for a little bit
endings.
consistently. He was in the first episode, and then he was in season 3 and 4.
Well, one
I
of the
was just gonna say
Wayans
he was
brothers was
more
also
in happy endings.
That's true.
One of the Wayans brothers was also in the Lethal Weapon reboot. He looked old enough to play Roger in that.
Yeah, and that's his. I'm pretty sure, if I'm thinking of the show, that was his dad. So his dad.
That's one of the original ones I'm saying.
Yeah,
Damon Wayans,
scary
Sr.
movie, guys.
Yeah, played.
Who was in that Adam
Riggs.
Sandler
Was it
movie?
Riggs? It was Riggs or Murtaugh.
Roger. I said Roger.
Murtaugh.
Roger Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have said the last name. I'm too much of a Lethal Weapon fan. I can say Roger and
You're gonna say you call him Raj?
My friend
Raj.
Raj.
That's actually what I was.
It's my buddy. It's like, I'm a huge Lethal Weapon fan. I could say that.
My buddy Raj. Yeah.
There were I don't know what else I could say about this movie, because I think that Westerns are generally pretty simple. One question I would ask you, Nick. So in the end, Jammer, do you care about being spoiled on this movie? No. All right. So in the end, we find out that Nat Love and Buck are related. They're actually brothers. So in the scene where Buck comes into the house and shoots Nat's father, we find out that
he was
shooting him because that was his father.
He skipped town. He used to be a drunk.
Skipped town. He was a drunk. He beat his mother. And yeah. So I guess my question for you is, did you feel like that twist was too much?
No, I liked it, actually. I really enjoyed the twist.
Why?
And
tell me why.
I don't know. It was an interesting way to tie everything together. I mean, like, you got to find out why he was after that guy. That wouldn't I guess he would have probably told Matt anyway. But I mean, it brings into, I don't know, it's just interesting that also he intentionally sets his younger brother on the same path. And he says he only carves that in his forehead so he'd recognize him, but they also talk about eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I don't know, because by the end he's just ready to be killed. He's ready for the other guy, that younger brother, to have his revenge. But he keeps saying to him, he's like, "You're not a love. What's his last name again?"
Buck. Rufus.
Like,
Buck.
"Not a love. You're a Buck." And yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed that fight. It made it more interesting than just he walks in and they shoot each other. Yeah. Or he's like, "What'd you do to my father?" And it's just some other reason.
Yeah. I liked it because, one, I feel like it again is very Westerny. So going back to the other films that I mentioned, Quick and the Dead and Once Upon a Time in the West, the bad guy does have that callback tie. There's something that this person did to this child, and now the child has come back to take their revenge on them. And one of the reasons, the other thing that I liked about this was thinking about the Quick and the Dead, you get the idea that the bill always comes due, as the Baron would say, right? And so Michael Beach walked away from this life that he had where he terrorized his son and previous wife, but you can't just walk away from that stuff. It comes back. And so the sins of the father were visited on the son, and it's just like this circle. And I really like that. So thematically, see, Jammer, I like themes. It worked really well. So
Agreed. The movie.
Making that face. What's that face?
Someone says he likes themes. I'm not sure it's true though.
So I will
kidding.
throw out
I'm fucking
another
with you.
movie. No, I was just gonna say I'll throw out another movie to defend myself. Was it Remembrance? What's the Hugh Jackman movie?
Australia.
No, the one that just came out. Does it start with an M?
The
the one
Wolverine.
with the memories?
Yeah,
Reminiscence or something.
Reminiscence.
Yeah,
I thought we were talking
seemed
about
like a
another
very-
Western with him, and I'm like,
No. That was a very theme-heavy movie, but also
Yeah.
had really good characters, I thought.
I thought its characters were okay. I thought thematically it was more interesting than the characters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
it was
for
good though.
me,
I enjoyed it.
For me, it worked. That worked for the same reason that I think that this worked, like archetypes, like character archetypes. What I do think that this did was have different kinds of archetypes that you don't normally see in Westerns. So that was kind of fun as well. But I highly recommend this. I think if you have any affinity for Westerns, you should watch this. And if you like movies generally, you should watch it. So
absolutely.
So yeah. Anything else? What else you got? Thumbs up from Nick Dahl.
Check.
Cut the check. I'm realizing that we forgot one more piece of news. It's not a big news. It's not a big thing.
Let's do it.
John Wick. We have a title for the fourth movie.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got a subtitle. Where'd it go? Hagakure. And so just in the same way that we got the title of the fourth Matrix film from post-production party materials, that's how we're getting the title of this. So things have this title printed on them. And for those of you that don't speak Japanese, just like I don't speak Japanese, it is a practical and spiritual guide for a warrior, drawn from a collection of commentaries by the clerk Yamamoto Tsunetomo, former retainer for Nabeshima Mitsushige, the third ruler of what is now Saga Prefecture in Japan. So I'm curious, what, if anything, do you guys think about that? Does that make you super excited? Does it make you curious?
I think it's fitting because I feel like the spirit of John Wick is very Japanese in nature, very much like there's honor in crime.
Like, you think
there's
he's
like
turning Japanese?
God damn it.
Do you really think so?
What? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Anyways, but like I could see the parallels between the way that his John Wick's way of assassinating and sort of the spiritual guide of the warrior or whatever. I don't know how that's being incorporated into it, but I could kind of see that. I could see that being a thing. That's it. That's all I had to say.
All right. That's it.
I don't really have much to say. I haven't even seen the last John Wick, so
God damn you, Nick.
I'm cool.
God damn you, Nick. All right. So with that, that will wrap up Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast for this week. Check out LRM online for other podcasts and reading materials for your pleasure. Jammer, where can be found?
You can find me on Twitter at Jam the Writer and all of my books under the name AJ Cerna on Amazon and Audible.
And Nick Dahl, where can you be found?
I'm at Geeky Nick Dahl on Twitter, and I do Marvel Multiverse Mayhem with Kyle, where we talk Marvel movies, TV shows. We're doing all the Spider-Mans, and we have to watch Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 this week, so please pray for me.
Are you supposed to say Spider-Man? We're doing all the Spider-Man, or can you say all the Spider-Mans?
We're doing all the Spider-Man.
Jammer, you're the
movies.
grammatically.
Spider-Man.
I would say
I
all the Spider-Mans, I would say, because Spider-Man is the title All the
What's the real
Spider-Man.
Yeah, all the Spider-Mans.
Spider-Mans.
Like all the Star
It
Wars.
wasn't a real question. I would always say Spider-Mans. Doesn't matter.
I thought I
Doesn't
was
matter,
clearing things up.
Nope.
Did I answer correctly based on your expectations?
No. Oh,
No?
off
Fine.
expectations? Yes, you said exactly what I thought you would.
All right. Well,
Just gave me an opportunity to tell you that once again, I don't care what you think. That's not true.
yeah, apparently not.
Not true at all. Not true at all.
I get that enough from my dog. It's
Aw.
like, Dad, I don't like you. You're not even my real dad. And I'm like, it's
He's
true.
been awfully quiet this show. Haven't heard from him a lot.
Well, he wasn't quiet earlier. He was barking. I had to mute myself, and he was dragging his freaking heavy ass bone onto the freaking hardwood floor and dropping it. And I had to mute myself again. So no, he hasn't been quiet. Thank you very much.
Oh, excuse me. Fine. All right. And you can find me at Sir Jonesius on the Instagrams and the tweets. And of course, right here on Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast. Folks, as always, thanks for listening. And whatever you're listening to us on, get on there, rate us, share, subscribe. We definitely appreciate it. And we will catch you on the next one. Hasta lasagna.
Don't get any on you.
Mission accomplished.
So here's my idea for t-shirts. Like the Fantastic Four logo, but instead of like 4, you get like 4 fingers. Like the 4 lives.
I like it. The Ghostbusters 4.
What if like there's 4 of us, and then basically our heads are just pasted onto like a hand,
I mean, that would require Danny.
and we're just like this.